ma feel rough sanso ena anti sewa nyame na aye ewusunyan anti me ma wachi why anti nyame na aye ai ena me sa wanti ba ko wanti ayi ba ko a ma bi fa rock oni de me hu na che ti wan hwe yo che me a she go lash me obomo na ba bi twa me mpre ai and anti rose mami anti rose ono pe me mo achi ai me wie pe me fro na ye di nkomo me mama ba kwa no so mi ni ho agrokra no ai me dono pa anti rose ebia obia me chia wo ne abusua ni nyina ena no pe ye be sha se di nkomo anesa na ena date on the 23rd on the 2nd of next month ena akwatia by election no ekoso NDC and MPP ena kwakopre as we speak there omumienu no ena yenya ntie se wo mo kwakopre enti yebedi ho komo pa sanse ye gidigidi mamenka ne sa obi ani abre se obetumi edi nkonimu ewosa abato a wo mo ekokoto no emunti yebehwa ho bo parties awodo no aye ene de wo mo kade afa ho na fe yetumi edi ho enkomo afa no achi nso yebehwe na sembi ekoso ewo Rich Hospital se ayarfo bi ho na videos bi na social media na viral se abranti bi ese friend Raf woni ya nurse for na pomdi adwuma fo ho no de hye so ene ho sam no yebedi ho komo health minister ekasai ama Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwife Association or General Secretary so eno abetina fia kasa na ansa na no na wakasa ama esusu omususu se ensem bi okan ye ne words bi a oyusu ye e fa minister no ho no na ayenim tiebuo ene se do se kasa ye no na kamia so ya kasa ma na tra so dodo eno eye ensem bi a ye behwe ne di nko na bisa se anye bia se ye ka industrial relation employer any employee bom relation no se necessary yefa employer any employee adwuma wura any adwuma yeni se na busuambo eda omuntam na sese tumi yefa so sese adwuma yeni no take anase fa adwuma wura no ransom ana ofa ne se no mum na so fa no mum esan se adwuma wura ansa hye nanum owo so no ho a na adwuma wura yam hye no enti sa na so ye no anasa adwuma wura no so bu adwuma yi no na bu mfia a de so ye mo adwuma yi no so nye adwuma yi ne kakura na obu na nichi ana ebe den na yetumi ama industrial harmony etumi aba ayasam ahuhia papa esi edi ho nkomo na yebisa so se ekoba se bia bibi asia ayantientiemu ni video abetwa de atoto social media viral na no ne hia anase adwuma bia mu no ye wo pani wo ho a bibi nkoso ye ho abetuma bɔ na mane se aseme me bai ni sei no ye me na wodwuma yini no so a wo so ye de o mani secretary a wo ka no wo so bi ba se ono so epemoa ebeje wo moa a yetu a wo ka no a how do you serve the person enu se aseme se ehwe ne ka ho asem esan say we na kabum eyesi en satyam enumi na kabum man yesi se we ni ho a eyesi ahodinim 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 we su ni ho a eyesi ahodinim nto bia ne role a eso to me play ye bi disasam no so won ko sense ye nkwan wasam na ye ka ye behwe enya ne tie kwase ye siu rafo no 7 million Ghana cedis damage na sini no na rafo no so aburu nua so obo no aso wa mono a eno so nsam aduru ho ye beka ho asam MPP amayeku no so no ama amnesty say party ma o ma free party no mu no o mo samra efie ni fie na ebinum wo ho a wo ma de free mu ntino ansa na beba no sanctuary letter brese me na me se me pebio masanya ba na mo ba hye no so se amfie mienu anya dia obetumi agya di brebia e party no mu na say wasum party na after 2 years no then we eligible say obetumi apre position bia ewo mu empanyifo bia kasa dia fa say no yepedom ti yepedom dia ene na ensese de conditionalities bia to sa amnesty no ho ebiru say ye ne sase de be ya ebe ye se na ho na obi antumi nsoro kekanya de opa bia nkase be kokora na asa me ba obi anya me hwe na say metumi akotan bia mpe bia mabatan bia mpe bia no wo say no so nya de ebe boa the baby say the state MPP amoyoko mu sa bire as a political party no yebisa say wo ma ho oden enum aho akono no etesen asa omoto nsafro bi a onimu a se obi a owa bonten owum no koye so nsamra ebe kanya no manasan aba with these conditions and the me bata ho no eno so yasemo a yebedi ho nkomo pan san se eye asem hia pa anti for now no wo mo a abeka mensa na me no be hye nkomo hwehwe na ase no me benkum so eye ebobokman oka movement for change for no eho na odun na oye MPP ni na oye youth organizer was central region edema NPP amayuku no Cape Coast youth organizer edema NPP Cape Coast sometime back enti ye kan MPP a onimu NPP so onimu no na so o move say into movement for change ho and wo obekame nsa hasan so na MPP amayuku no dinimu no Atik Yakubu oka communication team no and the party na soma no se wo mesi o manan na sa amnesty nsem omna be chirichiri mu na amanfo so mi 20 asesan se ayedom na wo yede echechire wo man to mumienu na aba echiri wo maka no beka ho a yebedi enkomo na yahwe Atik Kwabena
bejo so
bibia boko de radiance Ebo?
Yeah.
Otre?
Oh, Aduma.
Good.
Adum.
Good. All right. My mention sem for free Atik so na yenhwe mo amnesty na mo de abaye no. So amnesty no butaye simani so potenti a mo de amnesty ne baye no ene de wo he.
The edikan me din chere ma hwefo. And on this amnesty abano. Okay, I said now you lose to election no. Yet to committee B, that's the micro committee. Committee report no so by no. Nyama every mono be na year implement no. Okay, you lose to election no committee no. The 3 words be by almost say to reflect, to rebuild, and to recapture. And to reflect no. As a man for be for one mark with TT and say me see across the constituency. The be a lose and be a winning na the when in some ACC, you know, now has to be my solve no. Into committee report, no, capture all these things. And after reflection, they will call the rebuilding. Rebuilding here, that's your conference now, you're quiet, you know. Certain amendments I say, certain amendments are to talk from the committee report, no, that is part of the reflection process. Now we have to rebuild. And you from the committee report on the rebuilding. The rebuilding say you be a base in him, part of the polling station, you be a polling station in him. Another thing so I say former constituency executives. Oman be campaign because they feel say Oman can no. They don't need the delegate system for the voting of the parliamentary and the presidential election that is in the future. And it is all part of the rebuilding and the reflection process. And say we take press statement in a part in the bar out now. Say suspension, reinstatement of suspended members. The amount amnesty. Amnesty ni say obia party no atwe the membership no asensan bia no. Ye ma opportunity mo asamba back. There was suspension, expulsion, and forfeiture. Ni na our party constitution. It is suspension they say ebia why are dey bia enye the party say ye investigation investigation ebia ye wie ama ya pass verdict ne say ne omuka ondomuka fa no udi for nti yi wesi nchen and I say there's a committee bia investigate nyawe bia wo ye nti party say committee no investigate wo say committee na investigate we wie eno mo say wa asem nya dey to match was say party say go back to constituency na restate to through constituency chairman the party ne can no over issue of forfeiture na say obi asoro ne pem no say party no kra no me join ne biom enti we jai enti the membership no wa forfeit because wa forfeit the membership onye member of the party biom Also, you suspend obi a ye yin free party no more. Ye yin free party or a member of the party. But certain privileges, any certain rights, no, the party are entitled to it. Okay. But the case of forfeiture, one away from him. And to away from the old back, I say, "Wo throw any common party in this area." Me samba back. Me samba.
Okay.
And so there was expulsion. Expulsion is say why boni bi na boni so pa see we dey ye jiwe film on ka party no party na party na pamo. Okay. And no dey I think the press statement no and capture hon mean share and ka ho asem be. But domo kan na suspension and forfeiture. Okay. And then there was press statement me. Ye the nipa na your party.
Sure.
And this can na their party. This can na their party and no opposition. And then case can na their party and 2016 NDC so lose elections no. Ye the nipa na your party. And to mesre omo constituency nim. Ye suspended members no people who are forfeited in the mesre omo say omo suspend omo ye omo forfeit membership no. Some more ba. Omo nja bibia manenka. Okay. Because ohwensin be on my ya. Obi betimi aye juma boa party na for some years. Now akwaye one or two things be na be enhwe yi. Ni suspend no. Obi so betimi de the sika akọ into parliamentary primaries. We win the primaries na wie but mentim ho ase bi ebe mu ti mentim ho ase ne be mu nti. Yes say ya for yes yes support parliamentary candidate. Ya support parliamentary candidate now by the rules of the party no. You're either forfeiting your membership, and I say yes, I took committee because it means the suspend. No, I say whether you are a parliamentary candidate, you support 20 and you remember SNBC in China, so for membership. You also have to let everything go. So the bond, or the Obia bonnet, and also do be a party name. The problem over the years, issue of ego. Like I say, ego. I say.
Homaso.
Me nkasa homaso bi sa no. Homaso be arrogance.
Arrogance.
Yes. Akwa say obi ana dey say bi ogina no ha no ogina. On something stand. But ogina ha now say me gina ha na opposition dey nya again. We don't gain anything. And it is best for us to reach out to our members, our free party for them to come back. Another issue to and also say home. The fact that yama amnesty in chese obetime gina so asamba back abe no ye na because last time ye yama amnesty so ba no asamba be more suspension because any suspension of the article of the constitution just yama more amnesty for now no no be a see e bia no be a see dan no nyina no ye twem he say ye koyenim na esremu nyina obi ambra back to the party e your person be back to the party oba so ye bejo. That is what the whole thing is about. Because Wako election, there was an issue of a free election, be like apathy. The issue of apathy has to do with polling station on the constituency on because constituency in the polling station near to Aba, at the party head office. That one near to Aba. And now most of issues most of the suspensions are take you over the period of 2014 to 2024 now a constituency in year. All these people are suspended on membership. They all have polling stations. Polling stations so soon to Aba. So when you are for now back together to build a strong polling station, you cannot win the elections. Your own interest. It will be in the interest of your members now your party name to welcome everybody because obi oto abia wo polling station. Until you know be back to the polling station or you don't win the elections no.
When someone who can say sorry. Conditionalities back me no me sabi e wo ho e di ma wo ma ba nti no e bi say wo ma ya suspend wo mo no wo mo conditionalities ne de wo hen ana wo mo so a wo ma di wo mo pe free mu ekoye no wo mo so mo de ene de wo hen conditionalities ben na better mean no nyina de ho
conditionality for suspended members. They say go back to your constituency. Then restate you through constituency chairman. Okay. Go back to constituency chairman. Say chairman, mo tweme sensaye. And I say na me issue be na pending investigation. Na mo mfa mo bu atenwie ye. he said party now but say more restate me as a full member and under the conditions on it for future no e say wo san trouble because you suspend one in just on your member of the party more so come no suspend no but no still a member of the party what you say but say yes suspend but the example yes suspend you copy Kwabena Japan and Kwabena Japan can say party no we free that is for future and say Kwabena Japan babaka that's what true Emma party ni say me sam back to the party and then yes say what true and when you say bia neck and as a steering committee and as a national council and they these conditions to it is stated in the party's constitution.
Okay.
Say back from for future yes so what true you suspend also so na time no so na say ebia wenye humo bo bia kwotro ama constitution chairman say menye humo bo de me no fa nche me for certain time being no bit man sanjo back enti the directive for suspension no different from the directive for forfeiture enti say you suspended member go back to your constituency constituency chairman hold them constituency executive committee bet na say they put you back to the party forfeiture so we throw back to constituency say ye me ana me de me pe e free party nim enti me san be biom mama ageme that is how it is
na so nipa de ba mu wi a mo say ifie mienu otumi nge dibre bia otumi empre dibre bia say you know so for suspended people members na ho ana say fa wo mu a do won per resign no ana so mu free mu no
and hwe o kan constitution na for forfeited members.
Okay.
For the constitution because press statement from the band then that clear. But we can constitution now on forfeiture and forfeiture it means that you are coming back forfeiting us you are coming back as a new person. What you say? Until whatever effort and now they are showing na question over the years no ashegu.
Until ban for
fraud. As a member, until so go through that process, we take party's constitutional for contest polling station, constituency, region, and a national, and whichever position the party now, you have to be a good standing member for 2 years. And we are just going by the party's constitution. Maybe I'm saying,
but me tia ura pola foko. Or say or the futu mammo, the party ni biti dia. As some can say, see a mopedom. And it's 2 years ne. Conditionality senya me bata no sanka mu yifiri ho a anka bebo so semu betie dia anka bebo am so penny advice na safutui uhunu ne sana for yehwe comments are some of your communicators edifa suspended or for future candidates who say one more ekeka aka ho no but maybe say palafoko di first say am future on ba mo dia to ma na say because of your constitution, it's more constrained by the constitutional. Yes, sir.
Only Congress, all right, and our conference, and they wait me as suspended standing articles of the Constitution. The American about say they saw back to the party in terms of forfeiture, no, a constitution has stated.
Okay.
Into the end, means
okay.
This Congress, they wait me amend into what the Powerful Ekano, former chairman, I suspended no, or can on issue of a constitutional amendment.
Okay.
Amendment to Sakwe and say, into any day intimate. Yes, sir. You have to come back by writing to the party. Writing to the party. Yes, or some be for 2 years. We some party for 2 years. So the party name na share. Because when we say Electoral, any party constitution, he is very vested into it. So in our case, say a beya, say a bit timia. But so the party name na share.
Okay.
Because National Council create intimate suspended those standing articles of the Constitution in terms of forfeiture, membership, suspension, and expulsion.
Okay.
I'm not that honor.
That's it. Sabre, a bit of foreign beers, I'm a Kayan Saint, Mamino Modinafi, Yen Sasiana, Yen Twaso. Divine Chroma, Eka, or director of operations at the PPP, Amayukuno, Prepapa Precum. The Dr. Papa Kosindum party, no. Until Divine Saba comes, a Divine Aquaba. We have a call. I know I know what is I said, I will be okay. Good. And I yaw panso, Abekames, I yaw sompa, a dear quanta this year, Nana watch it throw more dish cron, Yabekamensa, yaw Aquaba. Bibiabo call. Only do where you had them. the day who has it. Yeah, and come here, dear, my better sweet. Now, it's say, sir, for feature, suspension. And what would you doing here? What are you doing here?
Sir, I'm done.
I'm also at my battle.
Was it my manda was Namanda when you know my issue as middle biarasi than the pain I to Nayaba can saw. Naminchia, Ashafunina Naminchia Munya Krawaka or ye Nanayo JB Cassie or a former MC was DC or ye Shufu at Timokwa. Na mention there. Nyame aduma next week na kunta na yi oye Ora Francis Kofi Anzu na yi no oye na je nua na yi no ye baba bi
sure
na abata han wechi mpanyefo se wechi opa ya nyewa na epom nse babo na ya baba yi no wa fefe am academy you are introduce me na academy na me MPP ka no kwa na me MPP am me join MPP 1992
hey almost from yes,
1996 I share the amount platform for the party.
I see.
And that time radio stations endorsed it. And to say in your radio central. And also in those days in your then ATL FM crowd and by started baby them. And now normally say Bakasa kid a platform do rally platforms nazi. Remember na watching a kid in Adonai Kasa. Nti me youth organizer for the party 8 years.
I see.
One Cape Coast was one constituency.
Okay.
Na so Makruya so 2004 was my first time I'm in Honorable Christine Checha.
Christine Checha.
Yeah, contested my primary bina obeye kase wa Ghana han. Then 2008 was when I was disqualified for no reason. If I'm letting I was disqualified, and watch all the time in the 4 reasons that cannot be stated in this letter, you can't be allowed to contest.
Debut. Yes, so you disqualify.
Yes.
Now we did disqualify on the year to be
Yeah. And I had a letter after the primary. Why announcement today? Obey primary no announcement about Friday evening. Now we primary Sunday morning. Because no show them a court now must stop. So we announcement Friday evening. Now we primary Sunday morning. If you want to consider the church mpo. Now was disqualified. That time so I'm a youth organizer. Now I'm a presiding member of the assembly too. And see yam paba na edizima. Now as I am joining MPP 1992, yeah. Oh yeah, principles and values to be what then is at that time. I'm a part in Yakono. Man, here no man I shall there. You put there politics. Until I'm paying for far and paying for war busy at the time now. The one of Ben was it I'm a values no any principle no this share. What then is it hand what this thing my part in Yakono. No you joining. Until you assume a part in Ankasa. Obi bia lo nyimi bia anti party penyin bia or your MPP penyin power from President Kofo na Nado Macmenu Lord come when you na menyones and papa anti this has the mini party no bio na Amide mark publicly and I say it's there's no way I can go back to the MPP. And my reasons are very simple. Don't make no. The MPP I'm joining 1992. No young MPP was this year.
How?
Oh, being the master. No, I'm okay. The values and the principles are the peri and Ukozi, Odana, go for the Nezu party no more. In some piazza and their party no, you have to belong to some group you be one. Saying you Godfather Bia. I mean, into Kofu far some party so when the party no, or can also one count. I mean to me that major money be my some part in the pen. Mark and on record, I've said it today. MPP in your party, so was suspended were no lift able to mark back. But I mean, Mamu on your party if you more if you must say back.
Oh how?
Because if you never back, will be used the margin against you are anytime I contest position in your party, they will use it against you. Anytime they allow position me border was on, they will use it against you. And see, and it has happened several times. And more example, 2007. I was one of the reasons why Mr. Alan Chamatucho let us become a part in there, because the way I was disqualified of 2008, the way I was disqualified, I supported Alan or Legon. I was one of his campaign managers in Central Region. I was disqualified for no reason. Others were also disqualified. Or some of young party and Alan supporters, some of them were maimed. Until Alan Cholo today, if Oyamiti and Adamu Kofi was immature, they will have to suffer like this in this party. I am prepared to step aside. If you don't do A, B, C, D. And when they had a letter, Mr. McMahon leaked the letter to the media. Finally, they sat down or sorted that issue up. Let me tell you, anytime Alan begin election, they make reference to the party there. And you're not resigning now. And you're not resigning now. And that is the trademark of the party. The same thing, even recently. And it's so painful sometimes when I recount it. Mr. Kwabena Japan, a very nice man. The man has served the party very well. For economy, a kind of bond was suspended when there was no reasonable EBR to suspend him. Now, 2000 election, man, when you say I'm a man by joining campaign, or behind that man who joined the campaign, you know, the information we had, it was even promised there about appointments in Azibabum Nazi. Oh, we really probably let it know so you call a port when you call in as a appointment we are. They used him. You know, they need numbers for elections, 2028. Now, 2024 elections, they thought today most was suspending Crawford, winning Crawford in as for 2016 and winning elections. You know, they could do the same thing for 2024. And now, or backfire one Yijuma. So this time round, we hear numbers. And they want to use people again and dump them after. I am not going to be a victim of that. I've said it there. I can't cease to be in Soneni. But the political parties, it will join her. If you on your busia, so political party, busia, more story. When I move we show a busia or political party difference. When I moved 2004, when I was contesting on a Christian church. And the party, that time, no, put on my film. President Kufuor had given green light, they allowed the young man to contest. But another camp wanted me out. Until my movie now, party, yeah, where much of party, my meal. Yes, date, you know. There be my name, you know. Party set date, to obey vetting. On that Friday now, nobody done my menu. Now, party, what's a vetting date? Now what show me letter there because of my way from Minty, I will be the first person to be vetted. Into Mumbra, music and Mumbra. Vetting by 8 o'clock, by 7, I should be there. But 7 put a mudru, Minzi, my me will be in a free gym. My junior eye, Passa. No mudru. Oh, was a 7 venue without telling me what's a venue? Matina, mamma follow venue. Mokray, what's over vetem? Over vetem. But no, a dumb bear over vetem. Do you know when I was vetted?
No.
10:30 p.m.
Ah.
10:30 p.m.
That's what I'm first person.
I'm telling you.
PM.
10:30 p.m. I was the last person to be vetted. They asked me only one question. What can I make them pum? Because of Pedam Sorko, no free Cape Coast, no academy, therefore you are disqualified. That's wickedness. You're a family. But me, Busian, in Sonafono, what's in a hole with Gina Mumam, one or the damn mammy. But more annoying point there in Sawampo and Bombi. Busian. And to some of us, we've had our own experiences, apart from the fact that what is called fire unjustifiably in 2008. We've had experience, but we are some party. But my opinion, many boy, men with a political party on Yebusia, a join or a free entry, free exit.
Na the kind ebra some to wa o mama to no bo party na mane say e bia me so say na to menti no o bo mama ne o se o mayi
me so na yi mo cho letter come nti na what show letter there because of I mean, you know, I will be the first person to be vetted. First, what's the party beginning office? If it was on that course, not hostel. Number 2. So I'm saying that on your businesses. So when they tell you that your businesses on your businesses or your interest, a few people having their interest, they need numbers to pursue that interest. So they are inviting you. I'm not going to be part. Like now, there's no way. And on record, I've said it there. If say in the NDC, in the MPP, no 1992, come on join NDC. Send the MPP side of way. And then the NDC, no 1992. At the time I decide to join a political party, I would have joined NDC because NDC has progressed in terms of values and principles. MPP has retrogressed in terms of values and principles. And so, and I've given you examples. The same political party, you know, say a contest as a political party, a contest as independent candidate. Let's say winner, you are accepted back. You loser, you are not accepted. What kind of principle is this? I mean, political party, somebody comes in who was never a member of the party. You give him a waiver, a 5 years waiver to be a running mate. Or your own party member, say, or back, I am on conditions. So, that's a constitution. What kind of principle is this? So a party Nankasa doesn't believe in its own constitution. I can give you examples. Party Nankasa will breach the constitution, and so I have said it. I mean, I'm going to be around for them. Say if you party will come back, I've told you my experience that there's no way some of us, because I can live without political party, but if I'm to join a political party now, I'm a member of the Movement for Change. I support on the basis of principle. It's not on the basis of what I'm going to get, but on the basis of principle. That's why I feel yes, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable where I am, and therefore I want to be where I am. So yes, in a nutshell, I would say I wish them well. I have some very good friends in MPP, very good friends. President Kufuor Nado himself is a very good friend. Mr. Makmenu, Komi, John Buedu, all of them. I've dealt with them, and all the baby now. Sometimes you strain yourself because of certain good friends you have. Patrick Boama, Abdon Siasare, Charles Oredu. These are people that I admire so much in the party, and so you would want to restrain yourself. But I'm saying that somebody like me, I'm never going to.
It seems that we are bitter.
No, I'm not bitter. Let me tell you this. Anybody who knows me, I'm not bitter. I'm fast into moving, but I'm a very principled person. It's me feel in the last Makawa, me feel say any papa ni woman unsu. Mamu will be a let's say you will not tell story. I'm too musuma. That's me. I'm a very principled person, and I'm saying that there's some of us, yes, some pattern. Can you imagine me, a youth organizer, my contest elections 4 years earlier with Honorable Christine Chacha? That election, I won by voting, I lost by counting. Everybody knows. President Kufuor knows it. In 2004, 2008, even President Kufuor told Nanado, allow the young man to contest. When I was disqualified, they had a meeting with Castle. They allowed the young man to contest. You have no reason to disqualify him. The Nanado after, why Jatumde obey 14 constituencies again. President Kufuor was the chairman of that committee. Mr. Kodjon Pieni was the secretary. President Nanado himself was there. Makmenu was there. Mr. Tadam was there. Mr. Odosas was there. Mr. Peter Alajeti was there. And now Awuku, who was my financier at the time, was also part of the meeting. They agreed 1 a.m. There were 14 constituencies. What is called Nkrofo, including Shaba's constituency and Dr. Ano. Eastern region, who was a regional treasurer, only was disqualifying. Regional treasurer of the party was disqualified. Can you imagine? When they had agreed that they were going to have that again, you know, my financier, who was part of the meeting, called me that I should come to Accra for money to run the primary again because they were obeying the bill. And apparently, now Kufuor on number 16 rich, all of us. About 5,000 appointments. Forget it. He was part of the meeting. He agreed that they were going to have meeting. You're going to have a run of the primary. And so about now, decision that the President Kufuor was a certain president. About of the two that's been no fair one office. On your casa no so Say the TNT for me, I no invite him, so I mean TNT. Nah, all this is my what's the crap about first round, you know, 1 year. About Cape Coast, about from. Okay, Jamison, and I told you, it wasn't about me becoming MP. It was you becoming president. You could have, and I would have been the president in 2008 if you had listened to President Kofo. And see, I mean, I have my own. I'm not bitter at all. I say it as it is. I had so many challenges because that's how I am. I say the truth no matter what. So me, I'm not going to go back. Others can go. But me and a few that are like me, we are not going to go back to them.
You come by the send the yes, where you obey sabi ejana na go na so a ye ntwa nchene ye pepa na say yaudi na bamu a manadu level bi say din say ebia obetumi ede a chete unkobio na ebusapan mu kwakwa ba
mejo so
bibia boko
yes don't facture me
jo
eti efu jina na menu ya no facture me yes
jo that's it divine what's here amnesty nsemu ya yekan ya yes ebinumu ndam ni obi di nkomo na nkomo no yedi na ye dosa na yedi na man bi make kopen ba ko make comment bi say MPP aye say be ma na one obate one ne yerete no wuska kotete ne yere na oba no eja ware no koye ena ehia be ma no wie ye no ose ne yere ne samra nansa ne yere ne baba ne yere nkopen krofo mepa chew mepa ne chance apene ma ne yere na ba ebra no wusika no ne yere otete no na oba ne ja ware na so oba ne firi ne ho koye ena sese ne sika nasa o kan na bisa sana party so no say ebra na party no wotumi no ena san krofo no bi no mu efi party no mu ena wo opposition an wo sheda ni tumi bia bio ena wo se nipa na mra nipa na ban so conditionalities bi wo ho eno no dey yes illustration no let me say divine wo share MPP as a political party now any de omo eka any de omo ye ya wo gidi say ne kwanso ano no ne ya no na wo tie some of the womo commentators yibi wo tie omo hwe omo ewa yi so a obitumi ka say this particular person kra de oba party no kra na obebegu party no ene ma tete sa mami to divine
Agya Kwabena na minchia ahwefo ene etiefo na minchia mikrom ewotu senya west for minia Porsche osiohwe na minchia bejafo so a wahase na Agya unim se topic we minya yanka nka lawyer Tehasi omo bro we omuka omo say my lord I have nothing useful to add uti asemwa minya penyika ya unim say something I would consider traumatic like good to say experience now when you know I won't wish for me worst enemy obia main penasem kra if what is saying is what it is because sebi obia joining a cool with ambition yeah with a vision with an objective and a plan and you can imagine obia in the youthful age mo ho no time wa energy no was run wa committee e we see your party ni so kakra party ni so e be pay in the back no no so in the form of even say the contest are all young be free and fair no who say party ni di ni na say it me born buga say dia you can imagine say denchem ono atu ni kosua no bomu kikare owie ni nkosua ni wi a wa ponchire ne wo Kobe ni momoni amono na mu fichire ode mayede. For me, MPP asem de say nyamasem.
Was some say we a political party, also a political party.
Let's say, but sebi you obi eni wonu mu a onye nsika kakra obeto nsa de akoshira ne busuefo oda. Let's say, me ntominsa papa bi na makose me na nanomo kodi nkita ho na me de akoshira MPP so onya me boa mo na bibi anye.
How?
You know, the reason why I'm even talking about this is because it's a public institution. And I'll stay away from it. And it's because of our history also as a country. See, it's not even about, say, you belong to party A or party B or party C. It's here to see, it's either you are a party in power or party
in opposition.
In opposition and in waiting. Say also ubenya kwenya meboa. And it's possible say tables can turn easily. The next moment, you know, me divine and chroma. The next time I'll be sure me honorable. Me status be an assessor. It is a bibi wo hono enkoyi na say ese say o kasa hono wan kasa. Dache, bo say hu susu anso no na ba bekam. Ananu bi mi kai 2015 war. I remember so many things were going amiss, going wrong in the MPP. I remember mene Anthony Abayo Fakabo, na mene John Bwedu, ewo a chairman general show so ewo Peace FM, and na late chairman thing. Who say Ejako, it show so. What do you see a show no? See, I was just being honest. That time now I'm suspended Afoko. Any Kwabena Japan. Any the way they were going about things, I'll be party office near a bone crofo. Na haji shie near magun crofo like those things. What do you say? Sa me viewer me the Maya I felt say very holistic like obi a odwen say bibinye yi no. Ehonu mu ano omo ma me hu say mankasa yie me ne omo ndi ni yie and omo kire me tesu kokko I mankasa
and tesu kokko say mo den no mo ye de ma kire we
o say ewie show no enchi akorapo
omo enchi awi
because o say me small party mu na me the confusion see e na me kasa na nka me wo party bi eso sa na ka be hu say we na normal ka bo na ka kire me. Now, in data, I'm making references to all this. When see a kaya, you know. Say a poo, yempo, and there. I can tell you, say, a memoir, Nanado, any Nepal for baby year from 2016, basically 2024. As soon as I saw a name or party color, a name baby ofi. Oye MPP ni a ebi beka wo oye NDC ni a ebi beka wo oye PPP QPR ni de be ebi beka wo enkrofo bebre no dreams are shattered because of amemo nti enyina na ho kwan si eka because ochina etene a kakai bi na wan kana asem no be si ukon ho a your pebi a de be yew na again omo say omo grant amnesty omo hwe kon be fa so a enkrofo ahodo ne yi ebebem say MPP for no I think say there's a certain attitude be a minim baby a efi honestly minim baby mu kosu afi ye ahomaso pa like wouldn't say I don't know even in opposition today lose power when you are dealing with them they make you feel like omuye some demigods be you have to accord them a certain they don't know say see opposition you need number one because you know be no more eternal allowance say oh the opposition when na number one opposition when number two opposition how to even mobilize rally other people omu to me people rally people so omu ni nkrofo be kasa omu ni nkrofo be din kita ho omu be hwehwe omu ko be fa so a omu ni civil society organizations be engage omu ni other groups be kasa other parties for this nkita ho die no unim say still they are not learning nanka sebi you say if a party a omu si omu usua de na omu pese omu nyom ne me ya nanka akpalu LPG party and I never bobo the poco contest me contest as election cry me more than 5,000 or contest presidential 5,000 still sit such a party only be thinking on now only know elbow game did you make us as a way and say as I say omutsna fie na omuhihye omunya meyi omunya nyama na first omuye first me first same oku me office na ba betra me office me onu no afro na we ayo say omu wini power and necessary because omu nkai obi o and na obi anya sika onu sa party ni mu obi a o sika nti obi a nto obi fu obi a class obi ntie obi a ye bossu from youth organizer to women to wine obi a ye bossu ituba kono na we have a squad we so makoko for me omo group bi no mu na mo because ono so to me command ono so to me tua chairman nim obi ani chese panyin ni fie nti si ade ma bono na ekoso so mo friend group mo friend ra me dey say me nka ho me dey me to mo fo ne say omo obi bi omo be ya omo hwe omo suban omo hwe kwa omo be di omo hihye be to kwa mu a ebe ndie nkrofo to them ebe man nkrofo aben omo mo mu maso sa kokoti guy ne yi asip say hu omo so da nso ya ne mo ana na ti he power na sesa he na monya bi edi na monya bi nti no so omo so omo invite nkrofo a say na honorable kana say me I can tell you a number of people are omo nyina ye peeved the last time I'm here hopes see ono kwade me say me sure say some like the kind of anger woni mu ebufu woni mu a because of sacrifices are why like sacrifices are why so na me no Accra FM na me read it down and just the episode of Sewa Broni keke odonya time on odi only ndi Sewa Broni pe adi okomu the travels the sacrifices and look when he looks at the betrayal omutimi hwe na nim de man no a na otimi so hu so mani na ndi ni ye kra but here we are me dey enya me party what I say and na omo na eyo ma de it is o make come one we a say na me di kankan ye no me koton sa papa bi me champagne bi enfa kushira mbusuefo ewie
yaw yeah kan nyina no reorganization bibi a hu hia ye pa so committee omutie no Marco Quiz committee na atike ka no say some of the recommendations are a war committee report no mu no no more implementing no enti say momra fie na yensan chichiri fie na yi obi beka say metun sa fro say brefie bia obi BBS enti wa free fie na me pesa osan ba okwa me fa so meka no eba ma me wahunu say asemesi bros me mre yi no me kwa onkote iti mi bio na amum no obama me koma to me yam say na me ka panini ka say akwese obema tamo no wusika one ne yere onfa ne yere nya hwe ne yere de ahometie atwe no ho na sise ahia no na ono san ka say me yere no samra onkonko fre na busuan fo me pa me chew ansana magina tumbra ahia bobro owusika no pono ene course na say process so mo na mo ye no enye no ano no obi so beka bi o so say koba say bia wo ma fa some measures no anto kwan mu say oba say na betumi per the constitution say na take kan no obetumi mfiemienu ansa na bia wotumi a qualify so betumi hold position bi nyama tisa no they have to go by the constitution say na be ye be ma nyama koyie hunu sa amnesty and nyama bata ho any pe they are ebo kan yawde woni mu say they divine ka say hopes in also see yawde woni mu no we said then on be ye say be anya hwe kura no betumi amabuto yem kakraba na say ebo ni hopes in kura ti bibi kura na o matumi asaba back to the party
Ajamida say yencha ahwe for near tiefo. Same way na maka Mecha Kotam Estate homeowners and residents also there's a new association into Mecha new association for no and all the residents in the association. Eja Sebi party any akuako ni amanfo te won ho ni amanfo film no it's very natural, very natural, because Sebi utiko na botaye utiko no ye one mini apenye bo. It's completely unfortunate to experience. Senior Mini Divine Kind I think the party owes you more than just forgiveness, because if that is the case there, which brings me to the question. Amnesty usually a forgiveness say obiya from so now they channel, but utie sem na e kame say for some people party ni mum na afom inti nye party no and I was say di bibi che
what more said it
and I was say find a process of reconciliation and healing. There are two separate processes. So because amnesty they are making say why am from so on from so unti media chow babra oh bamuma because we am from so unti eko eno esa na media to for purpose of discipline no more muka ye no our more ye lawyer no our mo anyam from so bia no say nye say we are disproportionately favoring you no I was say the way you know there must be some consequence of a form to maintain discipline. And from that reasoning, no, me say why there are some conditions to an amnesty, and I think it makes sense. The question, however, utie ebo and comments like his are, then what the process necessary no nya amnesty. The process necessary is kwa be ne be fa so a ye be ya no ye be hili ya no kwa be ne be fa so a ye be kwa ye hu biem. Not the single objective are now objectives apart in one. We get to those ends. Because a company says you fa could be anaba could be anabien be epe domno ebo chiri ekope won hunya ekope won there. It would only be using people, and as he rightly said, the pursuit of amnesty would feed the mindset say a beam or no the danger is if even people come in those amnesty, you have even a bigger risk, which is what if say also member because I come disgruntled and I come as a move to infiltrate for the other person. That's even worse, right? That's even a far bigger problem for you. Inti, I don't think say whether or not people show up or not, for them, for me, and if you're a political strategist for NPP, the intentions of the amnesty is a good thing because I can understand. Even the conditions, I can understand that. But they make and they said the process of amnesty and forgiveness, no. That is not what MPP needs at this time. What MPP needs is a process of reconciliation and healing. Because for Bimuno, now they are two for Mama Party, no. Any instance so fa could be a pet to me, Ejina Party ni dimu de ye tia one no. Enye media chewasem. Ejadame can what I say. And yes, I want the achame asem. Say yo obi bicha, me na wasa me di bicha. And now na only bicha me no waka jam some member beam, right? And I think we should all be interested in Macau how MPP organizes, because you see, some people think the 2028 election is done, but I don't think so. I think 2028 election is a very, 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 very difficult election. And because my humble view is that it's a very difficult election, if these cracks in MPP filters and by some means they come back into power, it would have effect on all of us. Because party Nubia and whoever comes to power, any kwan say offer the party for nkwan na dey adwuma, he should take the best people in Ghana, but unfortunately we don't run a merit system. We run a system of patronage. Party for the na dey adwuma. Umpe, that is what it's become. So we should be interested say MPP gets the best of its members in a way say if they ever have a way back to power, Ghana stands the chance. And I say, Omaino, the best people working. Same for NDC, making sure that the best people. And then progressively, those of us who say we are not joining any of the parties, progressively campaign say we get to a point that anybody uses the best persons for the best work. And just having said that, I think the question I always say, I want to say, in this reorganization of the party, is MPP truly learning the lessons? Mimi susu yemu die, min susu sa.
So almost shia, so then shia bibi.
Min susu, my humble view.
Okay.
Again, they may disagree, they may say no, bimuye no, they can do that. But mimi susu yemu, I don't think so.
Why?
Eja, yedi aho brasiye ne chere dom. Because ofresa bi bekwa ku bi edi omunkwa omubere omadaje beto so de nti asanteman ni se empenyifo odi omoja to ho kekere asanteman no yebodwane ne yefre on santam kese empenyifo di gu ye no. It's sacred to the generations for years to come. If any people disregard sacrifice and any people disregard the honor of people who pour blood and sweat, those people are not worth a penny. And I think say whoever MPP elects as this new leadership has a lot more work. Because 2028 is an open game in parts, no? They could sneak away, but it doesn't solve the party problems. If they truly want to organize their party, they should understand, say, you see, Sebi, Kasantra, Kasa MP. Oh, to me, the temptation is large because ukuta to me. Until ultimately to me, the OPBR. But I think, say, to me me free on Sano, and in the way to me free on Sano, they haven't come to grips with it. You lost an election by 1.7 million. They think that they didn't lose the election. They think that people didn't vote. And I say boldly, says the numbers they saw would have tripled. So it's not a question of we didn't lose the election. It's just our people who didn't vote. Even the choice saying Kotwabana is an election in itself. So I beg them, it's in their own interest and in the interest of Ghana that MPP organizes well. Because in Americano, so about to me more, MPP needs the best of its people to run Ghana. And whoever is in government, the people who run it and the policies would affect all of us.
The fact can say me say, like I mean, say where. One more hokeka obstill and omo hum that so they have the power pe omukasa yemu ene womoni ye bi mu metie one of their party communicators no mood kakra party mu na okasafa womu a enimu bioyi I make reference to a particular mienu bi say obako kra de oba party mu kra na ane ebe ha party ne chen say wa mamu kra bio so ba be say party no ko be bo party no enti o kan sala bi say so what on safre nipa bi se nipa bi emra na so wo kure ya san ko gina o kan sa semesi bo ni din pen ni obenten de say ya that means say dia ono amoni din no kura no be tsan saka say ye mo mi din o dan so krofo bi a na hwe na sabe kwa bibi besi enti ado kura be twe de ya amoni din no akwa akire what did at this time the dinner so mo ye said be ya disgranted ones no kuma be to mo yam abi be to mo yam ye hu say to na omoto sa form no a genuine amnesty sina be obetumi anya kwan akomu bio
ya de kind say Kofoba as a National Reconciliation
Commission, yeah.
We had the process of reconciliation. Send America kind and the amnesty are different. Reconciliation, yeah, best in Konya. And I think NDC found a way to do almost lose election by some significant margins in 2016. No, they found a way to reconcile first before coming up, right? I think they, Sebi. My Kokwe report, of course, and no one didn't talk for by. Thank you to the Nehon talk by, right? The questions are MPP Pempen you for. Invite all the sections and parties. The first part of reconciliation is listening. Utie yenua eboa semia sebi send am kai say sana tia dia. Uye penny e wo MPP na wo tinasem na. You should also go to join him now, son and Anna Casiminia. Ya fumu. Sama made a form yet me say tia or dia. Many one can remember, but ya paucho. Then you bit me aye. Which is listening. So the process of reconciliation is a process of listening. For any person who poured sweat and blood for the party. And then said you been come na koko be de kwa inti say wona wo ye mama party no ejina nchen say on baby ma be interest the leadership should be interested in listening say denti na minebo o contesting for MP primaries youth organizer the we nyina ma party no but we see ubu akosi say o mabiemi say utie no na say the interest you think is so at variance with the overall interest of the party, you still need some goodwill. Ebia can say, okay, Ebia, baby, a party Nikono, obey ye, indeed, you are sorry, say a year away, but Obia Fanakwai. If that process goes on now, in the end, no, you begin to realize that one now party no do na boni binti wokoya no beba. One their interests are completely misaligned with the party, you would at least understand where they stand and then would inform your own strategy of where to go. Into the American said the intentions of the amnesty, I'm sure the reasoning of the MPP. That intention is necessary because if they do not unite, they will perish. And if they perish in 2028, whoever NDC brings, because the person is likely to be a first term, they are likely to stay in opposition for maybe a minimum 12 years. Maybe. That's including this year. So I think that the probability of open window, no, unless the NDC in itself grooves in a way that is irreconcilable. But say NDC are buying cost to say the window MPP has is probably in 2028. So Oma organizing not that window passes they may probably stay in opposition for another 8 years plus this 4 years, which is 12 years. You won't back to be stay in opposition for 12 years. So what that effect will be for what the party becomes, nobody knows. And the party can disintegrate. So I think they should take this process very seriously. Say it would save them because I don't think that it's in the interest of Ghana as a party back so I think it's in the interest of the country say in so there should be an active opposition. But senior MPP in Samuel Kono Oma says your mufia
okay. Me da say abusa pani we dey also be na nya nifia saman ka wonka hu bi na so e dan be kan we san samu na mo aba
no nka bi o si fa this topic eja ko si fa this topic eja ko just abusa pani tia me na so
ayo show do mo hu wa kakra keke ne ya hwe ye ka reconciliation amnesty ene nasifo ne de e ko be ya utie experience bi no anya pe de buba kwan e kan obi ti say hopes adoye some strong Solomon Wusu nipa beti trubi obi ti say na no hini to a former general secretary onye nipa kuma kra Boabia Samoa, a former aide to the Vice President Aliu Mahama, Onyin Paketwa, Ura Lankojo Chamatin, or a huge political figure.
Madina MP.
And no more who call who you know, more Marco or Mukuma party.
A Medina MP, former MP, Boniface, on the crowd, those days, I'm a communication manager. No, some are communication manager, though. I can receive you. Communication center manager. I can receive you. Now, my dad back on the next and about boy French. It's almost every time they only feel so question idea. Who sa figures ura polafoko nom ura sami crab nom who sa the payer but I can say they are huge in the party, huge political figures in the party. Any amnesty say no musi in the fire no. Do you think say something for be ebenyo pay say obeko back to the party ama omoso jam na so say some sorum general na so a ere bebo so mo mutumi push mu na mo so mai de betumi aboa o man Ghana.
Ejameda say na menchia one menuano mapamfo ne wo production team ene ahwefo ne etiefo nyina na eja asema okay de o say nkane fambi ni say na divine kind nka nsoro boya na enya won asem achechere nkoka hwe enwa adwa ene ne ku no won anya won ayi Kudra manza ukufura kuntunkuru kwa tenasi ya wa na upe biribi wo utim tinka mfaya na mu wayo man yosem ene o man chichirinti esese ye ka bi na mpanyinfo se akwanso sem nso ye danti oto ntafitu nso ye nipe da akawa abeso so on said yet na wonso ye nipa ya ade a wodi obi a ana wadi ye wenye wode no mfa nye obi wabobom pai no fubidin na ejama memory sa the amnesty ne kura. What is amnesty? Amnesty no say grant an official pardon to political offenses or offenders. It say politically no sometimes you be a wafum oman ena ye wokuma obi a wafum ku na enhyehyɛ no watomra ena eya yetwe won aso enti edu ba bia na yebue kwan ama won sɛ saa nkrofo no won samra na ansa na obeye saa ne yemai ewo party ku no ku ye de sometimes obi ntwere application ansa no join political party so what you say enti sɛ mfomso bi ba na sɛ bia ne kwan so what faso atwe obi aso na edu biribi na opese wo de saa nipa no so ebabaka in the right sense no in a political party or you serious any kuwa or you serious no won say in krofu de onipa semesi benten okwan aye fa so suspended no okwan aye fa so train so ne kwan so na we de no kwari ni si ye jetuma ye won say eye biribi nti na e ma ye push won fry. The best thing is how we say you go behind the scene. That's we call it backstage consultation. You go behind the scene. Then the people like Obi to saw him into. I know him into. Obi to say Alan Cheramatin. Obi to say Gabriel Samoa. Why you communication
director
na office director, more friend director, NPPO, the whole party, the whole nation, and the whole world. Because the work Ghana no wa monone ono anoda no. And then look at Paul Afoko, the teacher of Paul Afoko. He commit no crime, nothing, because one man be say, I cannot work with these people, this team, and that's all. That was it. They used some people to write a petition against them, and instead of listening to them, you know, they said we suspend you for the meantime,
indefinitely.
No. Finito. Thy kingdom come. And we bo want to change. And I will confer and Crawford be see one anan and running. And Namusukama Pola Foko Niakura who purchased them or condemn. I'm a man in bail crab. Apparently spend over 9 years in prison. 9 years. I will be on sentence or no. na maybe me can wa say minimum the history of MPP kakra any Legon contest near ya Alanchamatin conceding victory to Nana Akufo-Addo. Nana Akufo-Addo responding with healthy hand no catch and say near why ya ma minti so me di wie na me kwa wo meta wachi nti enu hwe no why upon all these things I would hear yes I need petty through nanka party am serious na defeat say aba mo di nkuwu ente say no okuapini beka chiro so wa konto kwa wo ngagwawo gwawo ebirim won nti ka wotena se na wo hwed ne ma maako ebo contesting Chris ewo chachawo mabua ewo Christian chacha na oboni di wo MPP party ni Ghana hu say oye konoso sankasa
bro for
you can crofo when MPP man sometimes no maybe be beside them say bisabiem it the MPP na ne enim de dada wo no enini
asisa
Peter legitim odo size mo GH mensam and won ekeka kam enini Hawa Yakubu Ogede and the rest. I mean you say and one conclusion I'm about member want to say it seems like MPP has no leadership. We were ceremonial leaders I went up to Obama but they are not leaders who to be taking proper decision for the party.
What kind of son didn't know?
And then whole president Kufuor to me out. Former president. I want to doubt what who say one day we living president of football no that's yasin bringing obi to be J power after 30 years in opposition na mo am the doubt so no J power mamo e ma mo sang mo for 2 consecutive terms 8 years they don't even respect him Makufu and Kasaba out abisu
over the Jeffrey
also one family me yesapofunu o se me te se bede kufu asem no ka na se ni o te se bedew obedew wo he wodi mo obedew eye brew abe utwa abe a ya kwafum daro utwa abe a na kwafum na nkura kenten ene ya wo se wo do na no na otutu banchi bi ne ho niema na wo bo brew no abe ne emang no utwa na wo bo no po aye ne se kenten now the near na shima bon po no waso ya befie betunya bedu fie na ujinu yang ni nyina wo ma eden na wo ye be
otu be na chine
otu be no ato atwede na ngwan awe that's how they are treating President Kufuor that's what he was saying so me my is in papa yini won fa me nya hwiem me ka hwie nyina na nke ho na ho tabakulu to me criticize mo na ma suspended sadi o man mo party ni mo di yam fa so no enye sadi e to party look at Kennedy chasing the elephant into the bush. Name the foot say na mo kwa yard no wa ochire mo say ade a mo ye ne kwan ni a wo se ma suspended no. It is a o person we ye bibi papa na utumi di enipa a etesa ne ba. Party a wo metumi e wo say ye nya osua ho no. Enye bibi a wo ye cosmetic bi keke and wo person wo ye kire Ghana fo a you go behind the scene na oni sankrofu ya kwa kasa ne fe ni kura no podi say ba ko ehun ni say uwia na wa bomodin yankasa abre wo ho ase let me say divine occurrence has seven no the arrogant posture of MPP no is beyond our borders. That's gone beyond our borders. Why abufra watra Otiena anything we brought for Kasabi was say NPP is now like a spoiled child. She can she ye nanka bro mwase na nieme bia nkoye na moma my kokwe report no okọ round no na okọ round antokwa akwa kosi e bo am nka kire me ade na wo so ye hwe problem na ebeba na ye be solve no no won ase atwa wo ho re kontokwa wo etwitwa sika no mo friend say thanks I talk mo friend Thanksgiving talk say
thank you
to na mo say twitwa mo sika ahombrase Sani ama we nyina no NDC ye ko no what we found out they say yen ye hu the root cause some of the causes Emma NDC lose 2016 to obey that Samuel team no e call round kwetibotwe o call round no ko find out and you say and maybe we were party na kasati wo or till no fee government the till no fee party no nti ma gap be dem nti mo ma yen ko back ne yen ko sua nti so we ni out for ma so president ebedi ade even campaign na ye no who say John Mahama and Sirun Ketia and the rest together so baby asi ye chemu ye be kwa baby asi obebom and pray you obu amani wa he fa na obekwa chairman Sirun Ketia nya dai enka ho na party leadership to be count. This is how we build party usu hunu na wo de oba be di power na o ka kire MPP fo nti ebu ebi MPP fo bebre wi afi na Kufa do promise MPP fo say every month or so every quarter obeko party headquarters Kufa bebre wi afi he promised them and no promising Ghana for Gina say every year be obe meet the press how many times not to be here the party office ko how many times on the 8 years how many times na Kufa do e party headquarters and one quite interrupting. One Jibia, a whole parliamentary team, over 90 or so parliamentarians, majority at that time, a quack catching and Nekufado said, pen for only one mangano, especially finance minister, no Cassamson Uniano. Or Quango do mangano for so the Abeco position into China's son. Yes, you Krumia, and then another Nekufado catching. What is the time? On one bread, on an Indian bread or coffee loan or copper and the ban no way. Oh, yeah, okay, Munchai, no, do you read the budget, no, or to me read the budget in the year, your best son. And the more say, men's about to pine because or can't team no. We in if you will, offer your markets about anyone there. If they can only humble themselves, no, not perform. No ngaji won from shatum then won atumi akọ ebomu ne won penofo aka nyina anchan say obi te say Hobson okay me ne be shia wa na Hobson say ni share for so many years 2011 or so 2010 na me Hobson in share it recently me no radio gold ne hu fa ntokwa yakọ now defend Hobson no to me fi yakọ organize demonstration wa burochiritia John Mahama Babu abun kachira be no way e pupu obo nesu odan esukanchia nti MPP for the semi JH mensa kachira NDC for the say by the time we be we say na wadi NDC for court e ko try won no there will be no more NDC no menso me wish sa ada na ama won say won koso ya no won konto kwa won na won koso ya sa no wonya 88 wo parliament ebebu ama yetumi aboa achechero omangano na sese de emra kwanya yesu su se yechechero omangin se yekodo saade ya nka 88 no de one thing was
also kakrabo die o say kakrabo kan wa kan
I was wondering there kakraza njenje
na ka you tell me ya
beja pet be 6
it was a pay
Yanko, the next topic so now, yeah, it's exactly 10 a.m. meeting. Your one night we discuss two topics in here. Sorry, I could hear last. Yanko, the CEO will reach hospital and who some sorry. You said you see, and you have videos so no. Abranti and I saw corner raf no or no na sama waka or no next in so no story or the aba next in crash or was sue raf no 7 million Ghana cedis. Raf no so say or no so do obubudua because or a traditionalist nti ono so brunia ene yetisa yetie dia health minister no adama wotuo ne dia waka ana Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwife Association for so no general secretary no so ne samo a ono so kokan ye nram ko brafia ene ye bebo mpudimpu ene samo waka ene ensemo piepie frinche no yenhwe yen health delivery system no se die city ankasa pa I can say be a near American kono. Gradually, son and me am actually be a me who maybe so be an entisa. I stand to be corrected. Say there's some kind of tension, gradual tension brewing between patients and health workers gradually a bank sana mi hunu no divine they see here and not coming why you be on social media na ye pa mo hefa wa no
Emmanuel Esucha
no to briefly and because me huna menti ase say I don't know I so no so meal so
na dear no dey shame
but say or the shank say pie na ko
she be pie no ahwe ahoma no
sana no ye
any friend Esucha no
tu nya kwanhia experience omo hwe okama
okay Agya Kwabena that's a very very important issue topic mami. Now I want to look at it from a bipartisan dispassionate is a any politics advantage because we know can say obi anyone no more te no more or health facility be the party card and nurses for no identifying say who belong to this particular party be as a certain kind of treatment maybe now they kind of they see or reach hospital they na aye videos ni bi any infonia ededa mountain na e bi nyefe na bibi na akoma bibi so aba na de asi no ne fa meka ne se abrante ne fe no Ralph no ijidi se bibi na e happen na de abufu kakra ba but he went overboard. I think say he overreacted the way I conducting him.
So oye mane broso
to the extent say one the camera ebesi innocent people are patients are vulnerable states then you are violating their privacy like I thought so they nurses for them nanka ebedi nkita ho na to the extent to say or the camera see patient there was no young no I think say one handle issue ni again Oshe senior asem so call baby no I was expecting say nanka obenya butre nanka oni mpanyifo no di ho nkita ho action same yi but na the day so hospital say any day it mesre say send am brand it almost investigative agency aso yinja omo no mo nyo adwuma na investigation bia obi e be find no culpable bia mnanu ni ndi e fa ho nipa akora oye mnanu ni ndi say no koda nchen a no say Ghana registered nurses and midwives for Kuno in penny for dan aye statement I the ababonsia I'm general secretary no air cancer and I think it was triggered by how in something in a panel out our rich hospital and if I maybe no more fine because it's a protected health workers for no on mo near respected on media or modi but otie commentary so from the way general secretary can seminar is a bit derogatory and insulting to the sector minister. Or sector minister, some of the comments I will make, is uncalled for. So bet you me can some potosa to describe your sector minister in such a manner. And now you see he's creating a certain posture, as if say the nurses, the health workers group, a certain kind of indispensable set of workers. Without them, no, they say we can go to hell. No, obi adwuma hu ya o mema ase. Emfa ho so obi twi trotro, obi etwi gatemu, obi eton nsuo traffic. Mu nyina obi aye adwuma de ebo aman koso. Nti mehwe say obi anhwe ne kasa eyi. Na yesi etu momonefo no. Ni etu ekura sofo. Yaka Ralph Boni awaye, yaka GR events Ghana Registered Nurses for Executives for some keka. But you see, let's not play the ostrich, and pretend to say we don't know also how and the nurses they treat us when we go to the health facilities. I'm not trying to encapsulate and I say put all of them in one you say all nurses are bad. There are honest, hardworking nurses I've had encounter with. I'm telling you, say you enjoy their services. Like here Jumano, Amakuma, Edaho. But because lives are at stake, you know. Any situation be a say we the so because the little mistake, negligence via one work abe exhibit no lead to loss of lives and for nkwa and a better. What we say here event is General Secretary of GRNME Papa no Ekasano. The posture no is the same way in the hospital. Some of the nurses no health workers they treat us. Some say be kasa by heart, and you can viewers and can attest to how they treat us. And nina ne far by is because epem say some of them no utimu say juma na kasa no omu nyomaji so obesua anaso omu nim adwuma na omu ye no adwuma na sa de ache awakọ no share uniform share Agya Kwabena last year now we be some video now also me Facebook page
yeah
me nya kwenhia and I drove myself I rushed myself to a nearby facility, government facility. I was bleeding profusely. Me bleeding. Mata le munjina. Me could do one. I was thinking, say, be attach a certain level of urgency be to me case. You know, obi a shame. Say me go join it. Queue. And when your card and son attended to me. Me say okay, Mate. Unim say me jina me bleeding na. Unim say bleeding so excessively. Do baby ya. Pass out.
Yeah.
So me myself, I was terrified. I was petrified to the extent say, I knew say if care is not taken, I might make trash. No mujina ho. So it took one man in the queue to start. I'm not starting or shout. Say, Musha brand here. I'm catching so. I have money. Me card in here. Musha me. Hobi and fimi. And a papa ne jump queue. And or buy na or koje card brand me. Okoje card brand me a Agya Kwabena obeje di say mijina ehonomo for more than 20 minutes I me bleeding no be attending to me all the nurses were avoiding me minim omusuro obi am person be take responsibility say ono na also me ha oye mi see unim de kosi ye ni nyina ne say future na eso mo ye no nurses na e duty na obi antumi ye
say be pam no
yeah obi enu pam. It was just yesterday I was learning say not to nurses for corporate responsibility no but remember how it's me them ho me abontin na me some discuss with them ho me say the man I thought was the medical doctor no not or a physician assistant catch one of the nurses who try obi to me aye obi to me aye na mo ye dey bi antia ho ko try me and I was alarmed so I went into the na me ko catch papa and say me panicho ni bibi enye ma no ne de ba me face mani nie baby for cry dan ka be mama is try no but mani so me pe the best person na obo hospital ha obetumi aye na o catch me say nipa no ni ho guy no trust so obetumi aye no ni onti no se be ya dia friend of phone so be ya call the guy said obeba I had to foot the transportation bill and some to check no extra no your official bill because on one e ba ya me no tua no and some no buy no be ya ma he did it all. So me describe how the nurses know how they treat us when we go there. See, me call you. There's another facility. You need to imagine that I'm body. They tell me body so be say body peculiar. Enya dia ho kobo said you are rich. Kolebu a eyomo. Other places now. It's the same thing. It be person enjoy your attention. She say makwa e di infuse she me so. Me jina honu mo me suspect ade no say and I mean say no the way ade no airdrop no airdrop ye but only why kwaka so conforce call because I know now we medical yi so me to di another officer na buy no be mu say no ade no run yi no be set ye me to ho unim say nurse ni na otimi nchen no a me hwe no I say go monitor me case na me situation no or checking the bet.
Bet your football bet.
The bet or monitor the bet. Now imagine a nurse who walk duty or kita the phone. Monitor the bet. Na bet I didn't know. See, I'm telling you. See, there are some of the things I can't disclose here, but I have documentary evidence. Oh, video now, they got to all know. Who's a me posted that?
Yeah.
What is run happy? Happy last year, Tom. I can show you a plethora of, if anything, evidence. I mean, what? See, some of them I can't even disclose. See, me, Obia, nurse, doctor, Nia. Or no attending to patients. Just so a bugger be like bro again and was had an again happening. No, ni power book for surgery. No, Ochem, because when and again, it is so jaho. Attitude now. This boils down to attitude and conduct. It no say, Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, no, Emma creating impression be to say. Omo ya so abaphobia omo de ye nka o masem ana say ye ba hono mu omo twiti ye kruji ntimi nka o masem a see we know how they treat as me the last one about betwem about sometimes no wakasa if you don't google your own health condition and understand what is happening to you now walking just into the health facility. I'm telling you sir, you might end up being killed by a certain indolence, incompetence, just say, what is say, carelessness be, and as a health practitioner be. I went to a facility for a skin, what do you say, because I'm a vegetarian, you know. Me didn't never be from childbirth in tea. I lack sometimes nutrients be all no more. You have to take supplements in your manama. Me go health facility, no take it fossil. Or we na me blood sample near you know more prescribe injection be man. Is that coming now? Ya want me injection every am metro. Best 2 days, 3 days. Me want no more na me no nsuo say ya. Me who say nsuo no and na makoma ho say. There be nsuo do be me movement me to be hu movement no. Onu nsuo na koko na me ti say nsuo ni move go. Me want no more me bia me pause silly me to me nsuo. Now me call for review, not to know. Me to one more me tell me say, doctor na friend is ni bako. Omo have a debate argument, not to know you know prescription or trauma nurse, you know nurse me you know war me different one. I'm telling you. I should not make us answer with them because I have evidence. Now ye omo ma me drove for Friday service answer no more. All of these things have happened. And that brother makeaka question say. Nurse ejuma no say wo bro so na wo mpa paucho e nipa nkwajan ko e bi fufuro because we can't have a situation na you want conform kwa kita omo na it say ejuma no so omo mpe can you imagine say obi aya conduct operation e won so surgery won so wo pro surgery attendant awareness no you don't even want to understand the condition of the nipa de ho how can you attend to the person they don't want to learn. Some of the nurses, some of them want my uniform now, and you know, it's also the way the government system, no the educational system, and everything. I say, it's also because of unemployment on the upside, you know. Obioko school be finding quick routes me connects in there, may say on pay you no crowd not no. Obenya pay every month. It's the only dream. Obi oko duty a obo mpa ise mo obi a ma honom not wo. Patient ba pana de buafu. I to see ebe mia ne kon. No, do you know and they become busybodies on nanam honom wo an se poa na ne time aso no ko no be share responsibility. I'm just trying to tell association say Nkrofonkwa is at stake. Mama me to say next is one honom no. Omu ni bibia. See, the guy was bleeding. I said, no, I cannot bleed. Me bleeding situation, I'm a cano. Nobody attended to me, say, or stop him. See, can you imagine, say, Agya Kwabena? While walking into a police station, me call police station. I call parking my car, midnight. Me will say, no, my car, no problem. But it say, me job police station, the nearest police station, say, me best accident, BC. na police ni aka che me say to battery e sa de ade be chwa no bia bi police station police station ho na sa ko ya na sa pa asi me ko ni ma police station ne mebo o me kai airport police station o me kai
to battery yes
o si ya no o si masa o to battery me say me battery strong me too o si tu o na ba na ni so police station ho na be fa battery
ma me fa we twem say ni ma police station na one television e bo bo na nkrofo kotutu
police station
so imagine say who bring their run to a rescue center who be do ho no nipa no be rescue no obi a hwe wani
yasem nkoma ye die ye wo ni nkwasam ne ye kantine se didi a se fa na libre sempa na enra mo fie na obi frɛ me na tie o muntie message oni pande ma me enra na nasem wo kan ne se opani o teacher ni o head teacher e wo private school bi na be na ansa na anani am say Jordan wo so na I said ye no ho nya no fine papa nti I said ye chicken pox agu no and I'm not ade white so 3 days later no ka kire oko hospital oko ye no I said ya mo hwe no ye nyi bia na omo discharge no ba fie no say da bi still an ho nto no and oko back to the same health facility ena omoma eto obi ne kwa so obi no dipande ne koi nti won injection wie no ana jone ne koi no ye kan so koi lab test nti ono no okọ bia omo ye lab no o free baby omo ye lab no bae no na ma no ne koi no wawu dem ka what you say say ye fa say bia me na ade na ye me divine me na ade na ye me ade na ye me no me ne ati kujame I said pots be never be the gumi and na koi nti ye wo injection ya hwehwe me sample say ekokoye lab until ati kwana koye di lab na chi mame ati koba ya mewu anani na nsanko a obi a mi fifie ekoye che bibi na gugu mu keke ena say ha bibi to o kan kram say bi ebe there be pause ya bana say bi ala pause say there why no enti onu na ye quiet sample aba no de ode ne ko ba no na onipa na ye won injection wawu enti we see ahwehwemu a na e kwakwa say ebia na panebone ne akokobọ no enti ye hwe ye kan yi no we are not saying say unless for ne ya asorabofo ebinom so mpa hwe o me kan no mka say ukọ amomule a mami body say baby bakubi de Maria ma Saibu also and as ukọ amanfro polyclinic regular friend roda me ye na producers catch me say omo ye adwuma pa etini ya bobodi
yes me ma ba ko kwasa Julia Opoku lady ba ko bi Julia Opoku wo atibie kwawu atibie hospital the selflessness in the account
enti Florence Nightingale honhom na wo body share san nursing no e ka me say ya yira bo ma me mra so me say the SCA any baby kekan ko won say asemba ku si ye enti no yadwe ne say ye be close ye be shut down the emergency ward of the hospital does that way sansem ne si ye no do anyia huam ma say you to be take precautionary measures be as a preventive measures be as a say shut down emergency just because one incident yes say maybe bunu incident na bonfia there but association be say you be shutting it down now are you thinking about you yourself as an association or the entirety of the health sector and I would you know mami che na say dey see you know ye hwe ye na dey on hwe last topic na be yire
yeah as a one spokesperson or secretary no general secretary Dr. Tinko na Samsha since mama so mention so I mean say it's a man now not only in this issue actually other issues or comment na actually posture the posture of even the leadership general leadership of the Ghana National Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. So extra, instead of the sometimes very professional, they are playing politics with one ejuma partisan politics. I don't like one approach bibi kitikiti bi a ɔsɛ dɛ nkyɛ wɔtɔ bɔ na wɔnye abantena ase na strike either they will strike or they will threaten to strike and minjinsi dɛ otwa yie nansi asɛm osi wɔn allowances sam na azem ɔdze cross strike nkɔfo na aze no a ɔbɔ back na wɔ threaten bio dɛ yɛnyi minister meeting no wire schedule meeting no nti wɔ threat na ɔbɛkɔ strike bio na nkyɛ akɔ hospital na sɛ asɛm esi na ɛkeka ho asɛm a no so offer closing of emergency ward offer one asɛm na aba no don't even draw the government in so obi wa sort obi or your police case take the matter to the police report it to the police when people call and police station on report why do you draw the government in once again and threaten there about to a emergency ward na said etuma abanage mafro obuwa na other Ghanaian na what problem enya abano wo na issues wa kore no mfa no ho no so when emergency no do also do because obi blue obi wo hospital wo nti ato emergency ward yes onhwe ne ye papa sisi ala ehwe no comment na mo so okasa fa minister ho na okwakoye de why a politician more than a professional either nurse or whatever nti onhwe ne nzema bi Ghanaians are watching. Yes, some of us we know more, but we don't want to disclose. But the point is that Yanyambo don't succeed because when a government fails, the effect on the citizenry, say you must last 8 years. What happened to Ghanaians when the previous government failed? So let's now do something. Young one pay momne in Zaman Koyena and Kofu and Huntawan. I got to word them then. No possibly anyu. Now issue now occurred, let me condemn, on certain things. Ralph Nazo there it to me now as a video as a camera as so you do na ko hospital na kutwitwa nche wan kotin home obi a more permission dey twam fabra wazeri yem oyara tibia na owomu no won dey say yara odu baby mpo a obo na kedi mpo mfon because at that point he just want to live nti say wo da dumpo a de jampo a onfon ho nti bi o ho a most of them so only fian count that them actually that person went to the lowest point in life na say ebeko kutwitwa da maze no ontwe ye kra I like him, some of the things he does, he's activist, some of the things he does, I like it. But this particular one is when you cry. Ono Ralph your case when you dem anyeni ye. Nti mo se the sembra no do onyo ko and also a chepe bi no do bi also the way bia ma asomdwe bia no wan ma asomdwe. But the issue has brought to the fore very important issue for discussions. One is the issue of medical negligence. When the minister back there every year, be our money, we spend almost averagely 10 million Ghana cedis on medical negligence. There, Obiako Ayasabia, no say there, Eshen, or Conobidu. Name to mention them a corner dunti. Only Pacono, where's the dam, where woo, and as you when you pra, and then when you scasebi, on medical negligence, Now, say omantum tena ho ndem okodo wonyen asupiti no obende time bia no doctors and nurses e sure they nkofo no oya no tochima ma ye boka 10 million no chele bi was out for court yes we ask for compensation na say ye boka 10 million every year there's a problem with our health system there's a problem nti you see Senye Ralph or the camera casino do which we all condemn. Nature the Mr. Benchompo you. Gender yet and discuss this America you. There's a hospital, Mancasa, Mammy, that's my McKay. Or a true medical negligence, my movie. And see, oh yeah, sometimes on record I've said, oh yeah, issues super often necessary, so I don't want to because sometimes then you get emotional. But you see, the point is that nurses for na says no only doctors or medical officers or na says all the way abana oya employer so na says also no yes madam microphone because you can't expect a certain standard of care when the facilities no one it's not up to standard. But just for mechanism. So once we expect there, our doctors and nurses will provide this standard of care as a duty. The Marshall Edwin Pension provide them with facilities. Conditions are Obama are also up to a certain standard that Obama will provide Nama services. So when you have a situation where a expert couldn't do cross, so but I couldn't do a former, there's a problem. And I want to say, yeah, say hospital. What says also there? Also, they the questions. Say hospital in Tumunkan and Tibu Fuye, doctor or on to Kasaya, and he being called. My doctor Becabiano, beside one church or Muye. Say it took me doctor Sukasa, or cast him not to Wajuna. Bisa, that make every doctor know the night before no on your problem with you. Yeah. And so when I did Nankasa on your balance, Papa. It is actually here say as one going now questions without asking questions, sir. Yeah, you may end up losing your life.
I some kind of ma mekai madam Fubi. Me one from Sokobi wouldn't doctor Penny be. Me ma me the hospital na e do bi o de ba ma no no. Kobi me kenkan ho a me tu say enya dia e be boa me ma me but still no person on the man nti quickly na mani twa aduro no. For WhatsApp mommy na me dey ma doctors be 2B ene ayi but late omo share no say nti e wana me mama ye conference call nti komodie mu no mo say edro na no so me administrator mama me no en ma me the condition nhia nti tell me ma ju so me frefre oye na ju so ko hwe doctor kono ka so do aye wi nti next for na be bom pane ne ama oba na onwa woni ma me ne pane pa ma me ne wi keep kusa some na make
yeah na ya me tell them story now you see Meje wa Ghana ha. Na ya bati the oil health facility because doctor be a quack doctor. Only certificate but or practice. Well, in hospitals why watch one be a. I'm go see wa Ghana. So can you imagine that hospital na am quack doctor da. What do you? Na as a was am akona onyim hwe. Obocho bibi za mo keke just to go and die. Nti obehia pa there all the players abandoning na pharmacy. Okay. Oh yeah, one woman I hear say woman what share any because once one on for music. Oh yeah, say na wa so say ya me mum Yankopa na adom. Time am kasa Yankopa na nyom. Ma ko hospital dey dem pure the whole we are say me be na. Me accident ko 1996 national service type ewie me ke accident we ko tetanus so sabada. Na akozum kizima me fun yam yo na me go hospital. Nti nyame nti
o dey say akadi hospital dey one pie I take yeah can I remember bra one me can say we can say adwumawura ne adwumayini harmony biako ye say koso adwumawura ne adwumayini ntam kitahudi ese ko the ese ema relationship between employer and employee no say eye good abribia no odwumani de ni je na eye o put out his or her best esa say adwumawura no ani kune ho se ko be say adwumawura ni nkwa adwumani ne ho adwumani de amamrefi na bufu bi na beye ebi so ho adwumani be hu say esa me madwuma no me kanya mo kakra adwumawura no ho ba pupunti no me bisa bibi adwumawura obetumi ontumi o me push na manaye ane ne ma tete sa die sie no de bia me ka se ade bi ni sei mu no na yiye mu a die sie no ade na sese Kenya yen as Ghanaians. One, health professionals no. Two, the government say they say mom the yenye mom na yem say patient so yen so hospital the middle one so suban ko mami ti wa take yes sir.
Yeah, it's say you now. They make a submission based on your experience. More experience yeah. It happened in 2019 and it really went wild because I wrote it on Facebook. Okay. But I want to ask a question. Why now call private health facility? Are we near Disqualification?
Yes, that's a very
That's a very important question.
Yes.
It's usually
Very important question.
It's usually the government institutions.
Very important question.
2019, I'm with you and I'm coming. And you are so many so na mafi mo adakakra. Around 12, na you more severe, na abdominal pain. Very intense one. So we dey me team agent to me so him to car. And I'm this speed. Na me drive me home. We go pay 37. We go pay 37. Omo ga che me so omo ye mo in fact we go pay on them no. Now we could do I think around 12 to 1. So that time no be ahwe me o. Inti me now from my background mo so mu kakra just leave there me. And madam for come back no ka che me say aba happen. Obey surgery 37. Na okutie sika ansa na ebe hwe no. Na doctor ba ko we inside yonko ho no. Satan do na me yem si camera no. I have no option. And they call doctor and one. Doctor also be 2,000. Yes. Also be 2,000. As at that time, or minimum idea me. Between life and death. And I'm doing ATM mom no call. The nearest ATM on police can bring me. Near the mad doctor no. Manya who the day. So the boys are no more around in. I'm also bit my who the day. Momo comport some go. Na have dim and I'm check here more years she won't come be message then I appendicitis. And now appendicitis near or part of intestine the last part of it no say influenza say anye ho surgery ntema ye influenza be pa no rupture yes no kwa no omo holding on for more than 4 hours and in fact omo ye message around 11 omo dem call after scan after scan because now in that for catch on say omo pep baby mama nda ko mo say bed in honum but na 2000 ko bed na buy when you be die am move me straight to the theater to operate on me now mo we no home omo sound be two some general ward be mba ne mbema emfa ho no obi a na dey da honum and I said me so me kra me hu then they placed me there but as at that time never me home because I was dying and I was in so much pain. I said you twa fu e da beto na won say ye wo anesthesia say ya ye wo wi na e so ujun so obi na efu mu so around 1 to 2 pain started you know o man fa catheter and sheme so they left me there like that and now one nurse we trip na my friend so my friend so nka ombo amananka wonko o hwenu say no yi ni ono so an honye fe bia so sa o bom nanka me so nkran fa nanka ko eti me the whole thing say ya na ba ko bi bem na me ka say please madam help me I want to pee no ko fa robe we ba no me usually mo tia no kakra bi ebu kakra gum man ka say me yedin after ho to me no na me call Facebook na me write me try me order no nyina to honum I had calls from 37 military hospital one Colonel Abubakar yes of me I'm set a committee of inquiry on that issue. The Okache me say this is not the first time I'm making that particular complaint of that doctor.
Okay.
Can you imagine?
I had it is.
Oh yeah.
I had it is Omujiska and so man sort a man for out. It was a committee of inquiry.
What happened to the doctor?
What happened to the doctor? Actually, what they told me afterwards, and they say they're going to take actions against him. But what happened to him afterwards? No. I don't know.
They didn't tell you.
Because they didn't tell me because I understand the system. They are all workers. And they are most of them are in the same health union. Don't expect them to throw their colleague under the bus. That is why you guys are talking about the union, Secretary Bekasai and everybody's place of how he spoke. Or no a union leader. Or think about the next elections. If he is not seen standing up for his people, there's problem. So on one hand, he can go and diagnose the problem that is there. But that being said, you see, like I say, these problems happens in the public sector. It doesn't happen usually at the private. Public sector, no, it is not easy for you to get up and say, so Obiya There are laid down procedures you have to go through, and it's very exhausting. You have to also prove beyond reasonable doubt, say, Nipa kono, born now or no, yes, truly, there were negligence on the part. Most of these doctors are more public institutions. Some of them are also doing part-time at the private institution. And when you go to the private institution, they treat the patients way different. So in criticizing the health sector, no, let me say I don't want to do politics with that issue because I have been there before. I know how it feels. Say in Pedro, yeah, politics. It is too crime. Say who could not accident to Krobuswa. Yeah, Michelle said, wonder why I show. The same treatment the ordinary person is the same thing that's going to be given to you because they don't care. And because they don't know who you are. And me as I said, part to no power. I could have also made noise, but I didn't make noise about it. Reason being that you have to use your senses and make sure that you go through the laid down procedure. You don't use the law to break the law. But you see, let me transgress and come to the actions of the guy. That's rough. Maybe I older than about 2 years and a year ago, no. That is what is empowering him to do more because all year 1, 2, you know, he had people hailing him that you're a hero. There's a thin line between government communication and opposition communication. You can speak whatever, however you want to speak in opposition. You be termed as a brave person. Don't mind about transition you to power, and you still have that posture you who are as arrogant. That is where people in government might not know. We that we are just coming from, we know that that's the thin line because of the change of status. Whether we like it or not, Ralph can present himself or not there, or a neutral person, but everybody knows it. In your neutrality, you seemingly align with these people. So if you are seemingly aligned with these people, it is taking us the party, not the neutral person again. So it is he throwing the whole government under the bus because issue number and Agya Kwabena now may not yet any discussing, and it's still going to be discussed. It might be discussed next week. There might be comment to every free NDC communicators and one. It will even ginger the Ghana Business Nurses Midwifery Association to come out and even hit it again, and the issue will continue going on, and they come from just one person who was misbehaving in opposition. And when they came to power, they couldn't tell him that you're about power, Jimmy. That is where the problem is. But what am I saying? This is the same person now. Only demonstration, a blockade, a main road to the all security installation for airport, 37 military hospital. I think there's an officers' mess be around. This person blocked. When people got up from their car to agitate, like I said, I got for more young born and one I Sabio, young fan say yes, so young and Kayen that situation and all the year, we will also say some Konusu and guiding because young and never who said a net here. The biggest problem of NDC from now to 2028 will be how to maintain certain posture. The big margin that they had in the presidential and the parliamentary election, and for Fromo, that's the biggest problem.
Mutufu. The
Ghanaians of 2016 NDC job are not the same Ghanaians of 2024. They won't vote based on NDC. People are now evaluating what comes to them. So if you think, say, you got a very big margin in 2024 being the presidential and parliamentary, so you can use that to misbehave. It will just go like that. I'm not in this war power no. In 2016, BBC said Facebook Live. They need TikTok Live. All this media now she say who take video and there Agya Kwabena, all those social media handles, they're not there. We experience it, and it was hard for us to relate with it. You can't crack it down to. So you are now coming to power. Within 8 months, we are going to face more of this backlash. She said politics and governance is scientific. Now can during campaign period, people are just going to pick it up and evaluate it with Nyama now why from 2025 to 2028 nom de no ebu aten enti ya opposition say no say no be because say ya nkebede but issues that concern health no there's nothing like opposition and power because me say from my own experience I suffered. Imagine in fact 2000 come from my back.
You better call Jason interest to crab account. A year no.
Oh, 2019.
2092.
It's about with inflation.
Yeah, about 6 years.
And depreciation.
Only be sending message. Be men can answer my kwabusha penisoma by also. Also, good morning, brother. In the USA, before becoming a nurse, you have to write the state exams and drag tests every 3 months. After the state exams, we have performance exams every 3 weeks after job. Every 3 weeks after job, we have a training section every month. USA standard for nurses. The secretary of the nurses, okay, and the main can, but also privacy of patient, filming and taking pictures is prohibited in hospitals in the USA. Some of the nurses in Ghana have bad behavior and ethics. In USA, you have to laugh when you see a patient. It's among the ethics and manner of the job. Treat patients with respect without any color or manner. Until say, "Oh, so odipono yare ne background. What is said there be shia no? A form of healing." Now so no fa say yare e hospital ne yafunu say yafunu ya onu ne papa ne koy na kwade yiwu next for 4 na me hospital the Chebi government hospital next for 4 at to akwade yafunu te so munumunu anu ani obi akwekwa ne for tenaka ya kakra ne kakra ne papa ne sa akwade yiwu te mu o say wanya kakra nche ya afidu be no bo fasene fee and of fears of film on so wa fin so ampa because e ba say boom rekope te pite ho e once dem so de na o so de one etin onipa na oba ho nankasa no wona to na esa wo gina wa tu no e ka be say dia wo sua no fa nya adwuma ho we are not saying so mu nyina nete sa but some of them in fact some of them are very horrible look at the bakope Abusapani, the SCA,
but a jaunim me incident in the sea, no, or hospital 37 hold no. Omnukoto, because Omnukoto, general ward, and man and Bema obi da de jao, obi mame, obi danchia, tell Okikima, me who be who, not what a home also bread. They didn't take me to a dignified ward, Oma Pamanko. But the next morning, I will say, party when for be that morning I'm a question train in the room. you see it's here total transformation experience we can check it out. I can say we need to do something. We really need to do something. You see, because a depend on 1 year
yo yeah oh there we are quite say dua batabo
we twa na
we twa na say the baby a twa na se kan na no na ye kwose wo on say necessary no I don't know say the entia e ma binim enye wo nyina ti na me say dua batabo ni twa na ama e basa na say obi o wa ha bia so beka your experiences sure ayaku hospital na em say unemployment situation that you face in Ghana and then come. So people think, especially in Mano, no do now say, me near you man, my school, my SHS, me when you mean yet. Man to be unqualified so in your union no. Na union so say me ko legonana mo friend say tech and I be bisa. E she fees in a woman involved on amount involved no. I had to make a allowance. Kakra into I will go here and yet passion.
You also wage man is assured.
Sir, we are definitely they will post
your baby here.
Sir,
and the nursing so a passion.
A passion.
A calling.
Lesson and teaching.
Yeah.
So we knew Peppa now qua Uber Brunkro from Maus. Oh, said yet, no. Mammy can't say mention them. Mammy be war. Me boy be a cheerful be home. Mama, Miss Rawa, so she TV now. I mean, money ding. Or share no catch them, or say, Minia. And you say, me friend of ma, but was a Minia. When you didn't tell me, Jai Nesson, me retire, and I'm in so here. I'm say, Mamma, there, or say, Yen Nessifunu, and you pay hospital in the end of Dona, and you come home. I mean, no mass 70. Also, one I will come. A lot of patients at one back hospital, a bit more wrong medication. Because near doctor never try go on. Ultimately, you're going one refi. Enti, obi overdose. Obi wa injection no be man no. E so about one. Ultimately, man 2.
This time from so keten
no.
Right period no.
Yes.
I want to minister this.
Yes.
So observe.
So koy obi wo cross change over the buy no. Near okwe no. Wa administer bibia. Ne obuy na so hwe we no so no follow no ye no. Onye ono so buy happen no be repeat. Na we di ama no. Also wo ho go so ni panel struggle no owu. But you knew say asemesi no ye. A bono yeah or they win, but you can't expose, you can't betray that your colleague.
So how do they sleep at night?
That is it was say oh yes I know. I say who a course one if you would develop pressure when you BP. It doesn't I they make us or kwaso demo vampire effect no. And also so resigning because want to be exposed one there and say you can't condone it until be resigning or resign wako. Fishing business mu into fishing habo or na adwuma also you comfortable na niam e koso ne ye kan obi a o man ko bodo pa ne bon onim se me maame me o lady o yare na we de ne ko akofa na ko so nko na me ko to eduru mire o say o bo particular hospital is high me kwa me metie because krofo kwa wo ma ntonko o ye ne dey o lady ni so nko no abo no dudo na ebro so na mato eduru na dey me dia koma no me man kasa anka wo twa me so dia me nu kan nanko wrong diagnosis I don't know okache me se benya appendix not no me na yosa
nobody did anything about it. I think it's a patient responsibility here.
Yeah.
You have a right to know busa. No, who a dry the mouth can who won't tell us busa because in paper no, some of the doctors may not have all your history. Onim all your history. Every hospital nothing no alcohol. They don't have the record of your health. In every or drobi and never so but onim history inti a drone or the amount no. So ask the questions, tell them everything about yourself. But Bususu said, well, hospital not to etiao found ato embra ewo. The court process may be long, it may be lengthy, it may not bring your dead person back. But that is the way I ever corrected some of the social ills.
So who is sued? Is it the
patient?
I'm talking about the facility or the nurse or the doctor. You
can do both. Nothing stops you from doing all of them at once.
Okay.
Inti the mechanism and nurse 40 and if patients were exercising their right to legal recourse a lot of time ebian can say we no a correct action. Inti I think say utie nurse also say your rights has been impugned in some sense. Exercise those rights, but on the criminal side, so say abino say arrive there. I am expecting say the criminal consequences will follow through. Patients are filming or if you feel that your private right is being breached, exercise those legal rights, right? And then Ralph Nankasa would learn say ochino no pa na say bi beyond this I was you know 5 privacy breaches suitor. Utia lawyer ka because say your lawyer bo ensure anya for say utia lawyer ka for 5 cases one kasa udi uye bibi ma obedwen ho. So what I'm saying is emergency architecture from a policy standpoint, but in practice no, all of us as citizens should be interested in both civil and criminal parts. If it will shape the culture, it will shape the practice, and then we would all become better.
Me so. Can say I be producer please obi pe wo oya boga wo say odi ta so video call na ono wo baby na me abranti pa wo ye tintin ankanye anyway me gine so pa ene no pe me gidi say nkoma ye die ye ntan obi na ye o mani ye mu ntira apom de adwuma efo ye domo ye yare amo ho ne beba sanso na mu ko adwuma so mbeba fi mu so beto ye nso fi enti mu me nyina nka mu ne nyama ne yefe ne be sere so ko hu bibia overreacting no moa Raf oye ma na broso and obia be can me say I didn't like it at all, frankly speaking. Untimi nyasa debi nti ye hwe na ye ntutu ni akwatia na ke be ka kwatia sam kakra but ebe by election normal by election we dey see I say dey so dey be so crowd do nti ye nyama ninka ye nka by election
let's get no results no
results but the way you know we win
Master Karim mame
Master Karim so da say
our BBF
okay Master Karim so order say nti ye ne fancy na me na bedwafo asese obunya abreba na edi nkona ye komodie no akọ say da mbehwehwe no pepe say bia also hwe ne sa pepe na won so unsa atumi account
I'm going to TikTok we no
o say
TikTok we
TikTok
opposition never living out there madam I'm Agya Kwabena do comments
mango do ebi si ho na se wona mbofama gina se na wo bro boba mango bia fe pa we say ja wa bia why extra famous it is good
me na be person be say you born in pa na wo dey I think you bet me answer so bibi
as Agya Kwabena no go na to ache
and I say ya bredi ya de besia na ebo wono ma me fa happy birthday Emma Osajefo Bermuda Lounge Adabraka on the table one chairman say table me fa me ko hoda but na wa wo de osagefo bibia wo bi ete bu an mebetena ho bi enti hye no so ma me pa ba mu da lounge wo adabraka osagefo na wa wo da edase sanso na one of our viewer back one ohwe ye pa wo Dubai your friend Agya Juliana and then the birthday ti Agya Juliana happy birthday to you wherever you are nyakopo inshira pa normal hodene ekwantentin wa WhatsApp me a I so be in the boyfriend I so be in the girl say hey ura bonde so you be careful pa enti Agya baby will be behind say agroni yedi enti hye no so pa na nyakopo nye on show dey na oma hodene ma ya bibia sanso na wo for boat come na me for no ho ene wo for boat birthday nti wo for boat baby will be no ene party ye nyina ye bagie ni ano ne edey pa o manami mame fasida ema Atik Yakubu oye MP communication team member Atik me dance papa sanso ena me benkum so eye Ebo Bokman former MPP member former youth organizer Cape Coast former parliamentary aspirant Cape Coast and then former something now movement for change no going back but maybe they can convince you to go back I see Ebo Bokman me that say Divine Kroman so director of operations at the PPP amayoko no ana yasompa lawyer ni na ono so skasemu so waben na fe abusa penny Felix Kofi Munko ono so this communication team ono so baby dan wasepa na menua Kwame Jokoto menini nyina na yadwuma Hello FM wa graduate wa Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College intra Anklo congratulations to Trin Kwapa yes sorry so kakra meka na sorry so ne say meka so wo fie na sa boso mototo niama na obi a responsibility so you fie no wanye na sa pani o fie no anka de fie chiriba no ye nyina ye koko na nkofo twagu ade ba social media no chire bia ni chire bia no ho sembe ba ye benu ho sasa China fo na ye boa wo mo no maboa ye me ya se ye koko no omu dua koko o China na omu export to a omu atwere ho cyanide free koko ede na ka kire o that's it ne be hia ka mo nyina ma mo nyina mo ni hwe ede mo ase
soon China will be there